Salt is one of those things we touch every single day without giving it a second thought. It's on our kitchen tables, in packaged food, in restaurants, and even hidden in places we don't expect, like bread, cereal, and sweets. For most of modern history, salt has gone from being a prized, life-saving mineral to something so common we barely notice it. But lately, salt has been having a bit of an identity crisis. On one side, we have plain old table salt, the familiar white crystals that dissolve instantly into food. On the other, Himalayan salt, usually pink, often marketed as ancient, natural, and somehow better for you. The question is, are these two salts actually that different, or is this just a story we like to tell ourselves while seasoning our food? Let's break it all down right here on History of Simple Things. Table salt usually starts its life either underground or in seawater. Large deposits of salt were left behind millions of years ago when ancient seas dried up, and today these deposits are mined much like coal or other minerals. In coastal areas, seawater is sometimes evaporated to collect salt. But what really defines table salt isn't where it comes from. It's what happens after. Table salt is heavily refined. During processing, impurities and trace minerals are removed, leaving almost pure sodium chloride. Then, something important is added: iodine. This was a major public health decision made in the early 20th century, when iodine deficiency caused widespread thyroid problems and goiters. Iodized salt helped solve that problem quietly and effectively, turning table salt into more than just a seasoning. It became a nutritional tool. Himalayan salt is mined from large salt deposits in the Punjab region of Pakistan, near the Himalayan mountain range. Despite the name, it doesn't actually come from the high peaks of the Himalayas, but from ancient salt beds formed hundreds of millions of years ago. Unlike table salt, Himalayan salt is usually minimally processed. It's crushed, cleaned, and packaged, but not refined to pure sodium chloride. This is why it keeps its pink color. That color comes from tiny amounts of minerals like iron, along with traces of calcium, potassium, and magnesium. These minerals sound impressive, and they're often highlighted in marketing, but the actual amounts are extremely small, usually too small to make a meaningful nutritional difference. When it comes to flavor, both salts are mostly sodium chloride, so the difference in taste is subtle. Some people describe Himalayan salt as slightly more complex or milder, but much of that perception comes from texture rather than chemistry. Table salt crystals are small and uniform, which means they dissolve quickly and evenly. That makes table salt great for baking, where precision matters. Himalayan salt crystals are often larger and more irregular. When used as a finishing salt, they can create little bursts of saltiness and a satisfying crunch. In other words, the experience of the salt on your tongue matters just as much as the salt itself. Himalayan salt is often advertised as a healthier alternative, sometimes even claiming to detox the body or balance energy. From a scientific perspective, these claims don't really hold up. While Himalayan salt does contain trace minerals, you'd have to consume dangerous amounts of salt to get any meaningful nutrition from them. Meanwhile, table salt's added iodine is a real proven benefit, especially in areas where iodine deficiency is still a concern. From a health standpoint, the biggest issue with both salts isn't which one you choose, but how much you consume. Excess sodium, regardless of the source, is linked to high blood pressure and other health problems. Part of Himalayan salt's appeal is psychological. The pink color feels natural, earthy, and ancient. It looks less industrial than bright white table salt, and that matters in a world where people are increasingly suspicious of anything processed. Himalayan salt lamps, salt blocks, and gourmet packaging all add to the idea that this salt is somehow closer to nature. Table salt, by comparison, feels boring and invisible. But that simplicity is also its strength. It's predictable, consistent, affordable, and designed to do one job extremely well. For most of human history, salt was anything but ordinary. It preserved food, enabled long-distance travel, and shaped trade routes and empires. Wars were fought over salt access, and in some cultures, salt was used as currency. Compared to that dramatic past, today's debate between table salt and Himalayan salt is almost symbolic. It reflects how modern consumers think about food, not just as fuel, but as identity, lifestyle, and values. Choosing a salt has become less about survival and more about what story we want to tell at the dinner table. When you strip away the marketing, the colors, and the labels, table salt and Himalayan salt turn out to be much less mysterious than they're often made to seem. Both exist to do the same basic job humans have relied on for thousands of years: make food taste better and help preserve it. Table salt reflects modern science and public health, carefully refined and fortified to solve a real nutritional problem. Himalayan salt, on the other hand, connects more with emotion and experience. Its color, texture, and origin tell a story that feels older and more natural, even if the chemistry is nearly the same. In the end, this isn't really a battle between good and bad salt. It's a reminder of how even the simplest everyday objects can carry layers of history, culture, and perception. Whether you reach for plain white table salt or a pinch of pink crystals, what matters most is how it fits into your cooking and your life. Salt may no longer be worth its weight in gold, but it still quietly shapes how we eat, how we cook, and how we think about the things we use every day. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.